shots fired at officers trying to stop the vehicle.
We have one officer shot.
We got shots fired. Sounded like an automatic firearm.
Copy, code red, shots fired.
We have an active shooter. We have an active shooter inside the fairground.
Active shooters, the controversies that surround them, and our opinions. And now it's Shots Fired with your hosts, TJ Kirgin, Fat Dark Earth, and Dynadeath Milburg.
Welcome to episode, I think, 17 of Shots Fired. 17 Shots Fired. And it's your host, TJ Kirgin, a.k.a. Sig Glockncoltg. And today we've got Dynadeath Milburg. Say hi to everybody, Alex.
Hello.
That was really gay, Alex. But Alex is a former Marine 0331 MOS machine gunner. And he's going to be shedding some insight today on the topic. The topic of today's podcast is the Thousand Oaks shooting in at the country bar at the Borderline Country Bar, just 20 miles south of LA, 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot to talk about there. But before we get started talking about that, what I want to do is I want to play the police dispatch for that actual event, the active shooter at the Borderline Bar. So here we go. Let's listen. This is about 4 minutes. We can stop and play whenever, and talk about it if we need to. But really, I want to give everybody this sense of what it's like to be an officer on the ground, getting the call, getting there, the scene when they get there, how much of a clusterfuck it was, how it seemed to have gone down all the way up to the point where the shooter is down. So we're going to start that right now. I don't think that is that's not the right audio file. Hold on.
Which tab did you have open?
It was called Spank Bank. Yeah. Okay. So I've got the actual audio file up now. Are we ready? Let's go ahead and hit play in 3, 2, 1.
Ship 41, 471, respond code 3 to 245. In progress at the Borderline 99 Rolling Oaks Drive. If you're hearing gunshots fired, one person advising there's a subject inside shooting.
Can you time what was occurring inside?
Shooting. RP advised suspects, the white male shot approximately 8 shots. The weapon was a black semi-automatic. He does not have a description. Units responding to the Borderline, the RP advised the subject was at the front shooting at everybody. DT still inside the bar. Units responding to the Borderline, we have one victim advised who was shot and bleeding at the entrance. Units at Borderline, suspects wearing a black hat, a black hoodie, and black pants. Still inside the bar.
19-21. Witness describing black on black white male with facial hair.
White male, facial hair, black on black.
4-3, I'm going in the main entrance on the left with 2 CHP. We need another unit to go cover the back on the northeast side. 4-3, one subject advised you didn't see him come out. We're making entry.
We're making entry. Witness advised you didn't see him come out.
4-3, we got multiple people down. We need a lot of ambulances and fire.
10-4.
Station 1471, be advised there are multiple shots being fired to the back northwest area.
Multiple shots being fired northwest side to the back. Units at the Borderline, we're landline with some witnesses and victims that are inside the bathrooms. Borderline, we have an off-duty OPD officer advised subjects are running to the gas station for medical, more parked by the 101. Units at the Borderline, we have people, he's in the attic with 9 other people at the Borderline.
9's on, who went into the building?
Stand 3 advised he went into the building.
471, do you want us to approach anything or maintain perimeter?
Can you see the front of the building?
I can see the front entrance from the parking lot.
See any movement?
Unknown. Stand by.
That's on scene. We have multiple victims or guests that are going to the Tipsy Goat for safety. Units at the borderline, we do have a female in the bathroom, does not have any updates, does not hear any gunshot.
471 is the SWAT team en route.
Stand by.
951, 473 is down and unresponsive at the south entrance.
Stand 3 down and unresponsive, the south entrance.
21.
When 1097, we need you to respond to Tipsy Goat. We have numerous subjects there, victims there, covered in blood.
No, you guys didn't make entry?
Negative. We're formulating a plan right now.
Who's up there with you right now?
On 51, we have 473. We're evacuating to the west parking lot. We need a unit to staff.
Station 1, 951, units are evacuating 473 to the west parking lot.
It's evacuating 473 to the west parking lot. Yes, see, we have a witness advising that his firm was shot in his chest. The suspect had an Uzi-type weapon and threw a smoke grenade.
Were you able to see if anybody else was down in the building?
Affirmative. You have a bouncer that's down directly inside the door, and you have a subject dressed in all black just outside the south window. He's dressed in all black with a beard. I did a cursory search. I did not find a weapon, but he matches the suspect description. He's got 3 gunshot wounds to the chest, and he's down.
So that was the actual audio of the dispatch. Obviously, there was time taken out of all that.
Yeah.
You know, those were the audio clips all put together in a string. You know, that might have all taken place over the course of 20 or 30 minutes, and we heard it in, 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The first thing we hear, though, is the call going out for an active shooter. And 473, that is our hero, Sergeant Helis, who, after getting that call, made a call to his wife and said he loved her. Now, because he's going hot, running code 3 to an active shooter. And he knew before he got there that he was going in, and he was going in hard.
Yeah.
And when he got there, he says that he's going in the front entrance with 2 CHP. Well, that tells me that he had at least 2 California Highway Patrol cars with him, and they were going in. So 3 officers were making entry in an active shooter situation. Moments later, he says, 473, we got multiple down, and we've got we're going to need a lot of ambulances. So at that point, he had made entry to at least the front and saw multiple bodies. The next dispatcher says we've got a lot of shots coming from the southwest corner. My assumption here is that 473 is engaged in a gun battle with the suspect at that time. Because there wasn't shooting. He goes in, and suddenly there's shooting again.
Back off, yeah.
And then we hear another officer say 473 is down and unresponsive. Now, we never hear anything from the 2 CHP officers.
No.
They're on a different channel. Dispatch-wise, I'm sure, than the PD, the local PD that was there. So I'd like to look into that and find out what those 2 CHP dudes were doing. If they went in with him, why are they not dead on the ground, or why did they not maintain the assault? Where did those 2 guys go?
Yeah, I mean, did everybody split off as soon as they made entry, or what?
I'd love to know. Maybe we'll never know. But 3 guys go in, 1 guy dies, and we never hear about the other 2 guys again. Later on, some things of note, who went in the building? 473 went in the building. Are we going in? Nope, we're maintaining a perimeter, formulating a plan. That was said twice. Maintaining a perimeter. Should we maintain a perimeter? And hey, negative, we're formulating a plan. Bullshit. Active shooter in the building. Officers are down. Get your fucking ass in the building.
I mean, not to, armchair quarterback it, but common sense would say if you've got a place full of people and an active shooter, you're not worried about him coming out and engaging. You're going to smoke check him, obviously. That's not even an issue. What you're worried about is what he's doing in there. So why the fuck would you maintain security around the building and formulate a plan? At that point, people are getting shot up anyways.
At least 3 guys stack on each other. They go in, they slice the pie, they take their fucking time. You don't have to go running in balls out, but
No.
you go in with basic tactics of room clearing and building clearing, and you attempt to identify the bad guy and put a fucking bullet in it.
You literally can't make it any worse than what's already happening.
Basically, you do exactly what 473 did.
Yeah.
But because he's dead because he was fucking brave, and some of these other cops out in the parking lot, maybe not so much. I'm calling them out. You whatever. Sounded like the female officer wanted to go in.
Yeah.
But anyway, then you hear towards the end of it, you hear that the bouncer's down, and that near the bouncer they find a guy matching the suspect description, wearing all black hoodie with facial hair, and he's down with 3 gunshot wounds to the chest. Now we're going to make an assumption right now that is the shooter. They never come back and clarify that it wasn't the shooter, and that leads me to believe that it is the shooter.
I mean, it's not that uncommon to see somebody wearing a black hoodie with a beard.
Yeah, black shirt, black hoodie, black hat, and a beard, and he's down in the front, and it's a nightclub. You're not probably going into the nightclub wearing your black hoodie. Most of the chicks were half naked from the pictures I saw. So, so we'll assume that was the shooter. Interesting point of note there. He's got 3 gunshot wounds to the chest.
Yeah.
Now they're saying he committed suicide.
You don't really generally do it by shooting yourself in the chest.
I don't know too many people that commit suicide by popping themselves 3 times in the chest.
No. You'd hear 1 gunshot wound to the head or something.
I'm thinking that 473 or those 2 CHP guys got this fucking job done. And why would the city be saying, "Oh, he committed suicide"? Is it because they don't want, they don't want the attention, or did this crazy fucker, did he really go boom, 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 right, with a fucking 45 3 times in his own abdomen or chest? Maybe he really wanted to make sure it was done, but you would think a 45 to the head would be a little bit easier to the bottom of the jaw, whatever,
Yeah.
But 3 times to the chest. I'm saying the cops put at least a couple of those holes in him.
Probably.
So I'd like to hear a little bit more about that, but there's so much more to talk about here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with this. There's still a lot of questions to be answered about this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, first of all, he didn't use an AR-15.
No, I mean, and again, it was apparently there's a magazine extension used. It was a California compliant, California purchased firearm.
Yeah, evidently he bought the gun legally, a Glock, probably a Glock 21. They didn't say. They said it was a Glock 45 caliber.
Yeah.
And he bought it 2 years ago, and he had, legally purchased a firearm in California. However, he did use an illegal extended magazine.
However, do they say how many shots were fired in total by him?
They did not, but you got 12 to 13 people dead. I'm not sure if that includes him or the officer.
Yeah.
And then you've got another 12 injured, but then we don't know how many were injured by spraining their ankle or getting trampled or flying glass or whatever. Well, let's assume everybody gets shot, right? So that's 24 rounds. That's they make a 26 round stick for that extendo.
Yeah.
Not necessarily OEM, but nonetheless, that's what he used, which is the first thing to talk about here. The law in California did not stop this guy. Meanwhile, everybody's going to use this event just like always. Oh, we need more gun control. Need more gun control. Well, the strictest state in the union.
Hands down. I mean, at least until Illinois changes things.
I mean, would it have stopped it if he registered his ammunition? Yes.
Doubtful.
You gotta, 473.
473. We had a question. We had a question on the live stream. We're live streaming this podcast right now. We had a question: was 473 the deputy?
Yeah.
I'm saying yes. I'm an ex-police dispatcher, and I'm also an ex-police officer. So I can kind of read, I kind of understand what they're saying. And for me, 473 was definitely the deputy that was shot and killed because he had brass balls and he went in.
Yeah.
And you know what? He could have been a sub-second draw shooter with an incredible score and everything, and he caught a bullet.
What's interesting is, thinking back to Parkland when that
deputy down in Florida, Broward County, that didn't go in.
The dude bounced. How many people were killed there? How many more people could have been shot here if that dude didn't?
Undoubtedly, this guy, and on the police dispatch, I didn't hear any more shooting.
No, there's a lot of gaps. That
he goes in. He goes in. I'm making entry. Then we've got multiple shots in the southwest corner. and then 473's down, and there's no more shooting. I'm telling you, this hero ended this fucking gunfight, this massacre, this melee. He put himself out there. He paid the ultimate price. His wife and his family paid the ultimate price, but he stopped the carnage because he went in.
Yeah.
You know? At least that's my assumption based on what I hear in the audio. Let's talk about the shooter. We're going to leave him nameless because we don't give these guys names. But he's 28 years old, and much to the chagrin of Dynadeath Milburg, he's a former Marine.
Yeah, he was with 2-3, 2nd Town 3rd Marines out of Kanohi or whatever, K-Bay in Hawaii. Did 5 years, I want to say. It looks like 4.5, 5 years is what he did.
Yeah, I saw 3 to 4, but somewhere in there, and I know he had one deployment to Afghanistan.
I know of at least one, possibly several. Without calling any Facebook pages out, not that they have anything to fear, but some Marine Corps related pages I'm on kind of put it out there what happened, because Marine Corps is a small fucking world, and basically they said this, it's a small world. Who knew this fucking guy?
Well, let me set this up for you guys, right? So this shooter, this piece of shit, is a former Marine, and he's 0331 machine gunner designation. That's his MOS. And
unfortunately,
what's your MOS?
Same.
Okay, so you know a little something about this. So on these Facebook pages, what are they saying?
I've heard a lot of mixed. There was people who jumped on pretty quickly who said they were either roommates with him, boot camp, SOI, deployed with them, deployed in the same battalion, something. I'm hearing mixed things. One common thing I'm hearing, the dude was a fucking shitbag. We just looked at a news article where people are saying, oh, I didn't expect this out of him, never saw this coming. And then somebody else who was a neighbor of his mom saying that his mom was terrified he was going to fly off the handle. The stuff I saw from the Marines, again, they claim to know. I don't know if that's gospel truth or not. But from what I read and what I saw, the people who knew him were in the same unit as him. He was a shitbag. He did have some drug issues, apparently. Some disciplinary issues while he was in. Now, granted, he's a grunt. I mean, all grunts have disciplinary issues. I've heard mixed on whether he saw combat, didn't see combat.
Yeah, I think that'd be one I want to see answered. You know, is did this guy actually see any combat?
Yeah.
Because immediately the leftist fucking piece of shit liberals are coming out and saying, "Oh, we can't blame the AR-15, so let's blame PTSD." And let's go after a gun control angle where we take guns away from Alex because Alex has PTSD.
Yeah, man, I knew this was coming, and as soon as I saw that, it's like, motherfucker.
They'll play whatever fucking angle they can.
Yeah. First of all, PTSD does not make you fucking homicidal. What makes you homicidal is the fucking goddamn medicine they shove down your fucking throat when they say you have PTSD, which, not even going on this tangent, also happens to be exact symptoms of TBI. They're misdiagnosing a lot of people with PTSD when in reality they have severe fucking TBI. They actually told me they couldn't say which one it was because the fact that TBI and PTSD, the symptoms are...
They're almost exactly alike, except
identical.
TBI has sexual promiscuity. That's the one. TBI actually...
That's STD.
No, TBI. One of the symptoms of TBI is sexual promiscuity. In other words, like off the chart, fucking like raw dogging hookers in a, making dumb decisions when it comes to sex. That is a TBI thing.
I can't say I've checked that. No comment. But okay. I mean, anybody who this is PTSD. No, fuck you and fuck that shit. No.
Fuck you and fuck that shit. You heard it right here, folks.
Can't use that as an excuse anymore.
Let's find out if he was medicated, too. Was he medicated by the VA? Okay, so we got a question here from the live stream. Why are so many LEOs shy about egress into a building? Well, I think I'm not answering for all LEOs. I can tell you that I have run to the sound of gunfire at least 4 times. And that some people are wired that way and other people just aren't. And law enforcement, like the military, has shitbags. Law enforcement, like the military, has pussies. Law enforcement, like the military, has whack jobs.
Yeah.
And Now, I'm not necessarily calling the cop on the dispatch there that was setting up a perimeter and formulating a plan a shitbag and a pussy or anything like that. But, exigent circumstances require, quick action, right? And formulating a plan should be, hey, you, on me. Yeah. And we're going in. And somebody takes point, and the guy taking point knows he's probably the one getting shot first. I've taken point before. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, honestly, point man's usually the safest. The second guy is usually the one who's fucked.
Right.
Honestly, again, no LE background whatsoever, just doing hood rat grunt shit with my friends. I can honestly say the one thing, if I had to guess what an issue is with that question, lack of training. Man, are you really confident on going in and taking down a large open bar when you're qualifying twice a year with a handgun?
Right.
I mean, there is some who...
twice a year with a handgun, standing still, shooting a piece of paper at 5, 8, 17, and 22 yards or whatever.
With all the lights on.
With all the lights on, nothing shooting back at you, no elevated heart rate. No, I get it. I mean, law enforcement training is pathetic.
No, it honestly... I wonder how many issues that have been brought up with law enforcement as of late could be remedied with... at least a half-ass attempt at some more advanced training.
Well, they are They are doing a lot of active shooting training.
It has been stepped up.
I don't know if this department necessarily has been involved in any, but I know that they've definitely been funding active shooter training.
Fuck, it's California that broke.
Right. Why is all liberal states broke?
Weird.
Weird. Illinois is the same
Apparently, when you just give people things, you don't have money. It's weird.
Oh, that is strange.
Yeah.
That is strange. Okay, so we don't know if he was medicated. We do know he was crazy. How do we know he was crazy? Well, because he shot 12 people.
Yeah, a normal person doesn't do that.
Yeah, so crazy guy, former Marine, machine gunner. We're not sure if he deployed. We know he deployed. We don't know if he actually saw action. He probably did. A machine gunner in Afghanistan. But
during that time,
only on one tour. I don't know. I mean, I had buddies that went to Afghanistan, and one tour they never fired a gun, and the next tour, all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
So let's follow up on that and see what his real deployment history was. See if we can figure that out. And also let's keep our eyes and ears open to see if he was medicated on any of these SSRI drugs, psychotic drugs. I know that they say he bought this gun legally 2 years ago, but April of this year, according to the local police chief or sheriff, in April of this year, deputies were called to his house for subject disturbing. That's what he said. They went to the house, they talked to him. He was somewhat irate, acting a little irrational. They called out their county crisis intervention team. Mental health specialists met with him, talked to him, and cleared him. They did not feel he was qualified to be taken under 5150. That's actually a Van Halen album, I believe. 5150.
Is that?
Yeah.
Or is that Rush?
Was it Rush? Okay, comment. Our live guys, what rock band had 5150 as their album title? 5150 is the California code for nutbag, right?
Where you get your guns taken.
Yeah, well, I guess so. But in this case, they failed to do so, right?
If they cleared him, though, I mean, fuck that. What you just read about whatever altercation of him being irate, that's very vague.
I mean, I'm not saying they should take the guy's guns just for him being
you come to my house at 3 in the morning and start demanding me to answer questions, I'm going to be a little fucking irate too. So you don't know the context of what happened.
Sure. So he did legally buy the gun. Somehow he got the magazine, and it was Van Halen. I win. Thank you, shithead that brought the answer to the table.
I got a post here from New York Times.
Oh, somebody just sent us a post from the New York Times, Fat Dark Earth said.
He says, what I found out is his last post, I hope they call me insane, laughing emojis. Wouldn't that just be a big ball of irony? Yeah, I'm insane, but the only thing you people do after these shootings is hopes and prayers.
Okay, hold on. Read that again. This time I'm going to put my mic up to your mouth so that the people on the podcast can hear it too.
Yeah, he goes, from the New York Times, I hope they call me insane, laughing emojis. Wouldn't that just be a big ball of irony? Yeah, I'm insane, but the only thing you people do after these shootings is, in quotation marks, hopes and prayers, or, in quotation marks, keep you in my thoughts every time, and wonder why these happen, why these shootings keep happening. And that's per New York Post.
So that's actually a post they're saying is from the shooter?
Correct.
Wow. Let's double check that, make sure that's real. I have not heard that yet. But can you double check that on some Google or something?
Immediately, isn't that word for word what that mother said in her
that
video?
Isn't that strange? No. The mother says. Okay, so let's fast forward here. There are so many fucking things in this story that are weird, unexplainable, and or too coincidental, like that. If that's actually his post, and then the mother of the victim of the shooting,
who is also in Vegas.
His name's Orfanos, was also in Vegas during the Vegas massacre, where the dude at the Mirage shot, not the Mirage,
Mandalay Bay.
The Mandalay Bay shot 58 people. Orfanos was a military veteran who served in the U.S. Navy from 2011 to 2014. He was there in Vegas, and he was killed in this shooting. Okay?
Yes, that was a legit post.
His mother
So it is confirmed that is what he posted.
Wow. Yeah, I found
that. And then Orfanos' mother,
word for word,
who could very well at this point be a crisis actor, says, let's see here, where is it at? I had it. Oh, it's on the back. I don't want prayers or thoughts. Susan Schmidt Orfanos told reporters, I want gun control, and I hope to God nobody else sends me any more prayers. I want gun control, no more guns.
Okay, just right off the bat,
I'm freaked out right now.
Is it a little ironic this happens 2 fucking days after the Democrats take over the House, or am I crazy?
I think this whole thing's a bit fucked up, honestly. I mean, to have the shooter make the comments. Can we go back to that again? What the comment is? What exactly? The exact quotations. What is
we're just getting this ourselves.
Yeah, we just got this. This is not something we planned on in this podcast. Because there's more interesting shit we're about to drop.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make this. Big.
And we are not conspiracy dudes. That's the funny part.
I'm anti.
I'm gonna make this big and see if you can read it.
Yeah, that guy looks like a shitbag. Okay, so where's the quote? Yeah, I'm insane. But the only thing you people do after these shootings is hopes and prayers, and he put that in quotes, or you keep in my thoughts every time and wonder why these keep happening. Hopes and prayers keep you in my thoughts, and Mommy Orfanos says, I don't want any thoughts, I don't want prayers.
And again, it could be a coincidence. No disrespect to her, but I mean, there, like you said, the amount of weird, odd, like no fucking way coincidences that we have broken down mathematically because it's so fucking weird.
Yeah, we actually had to get a mathematician in before when we were preparing for this podcast, because not only was Orfanos there, who and killed, so he was a victim of 2 mass shootings. Okay, there was another person there who was also
military veteran.
Another military veteran. Okay.
Getting really fucking weird.
Brendan Kelly was one of 2 people that were at the shooting that were also at the Vegas shooting. He's a 22-year-old Marine who was able to escape out the back with his friends. He said, God will never give him more than he can handle, and he's here for a reason. That's his quote to the media. So Brendan Kelly, a 22-year-old Marine who was at the Vegas shooting, was also at this shooting. And Orfanos, who was at the Vegas shooting, who was in the Navy from 2011 to 2014, was at the shooting and got killed. So earlier today we said, what are the chances of being at 2 mass shootings in this country? Considering, according to the media outlets right now, there has been 307 mass shootings in America this year in the 311 days of this year, which basically everybody's pointing out, that's about 1 mass shooting a day. However, if you break down the data, a huge majority of those mass shootings where at least 4 people were shot.
Gang violence in Chicago?
Gang violence in Chicago, gang violence in LA, gang violence everywhere, drive-bys. We're actually going to do... So we're gonna pull together some data. We're gonna write an article about that, actually breaking down what percentage is really mass shooting like we know it, and what percentage are criminal violence in inner cities.
Yeah.
Gang violence, mafia violence, whatever. But anyway, so we wanted to know what are the chances of one person being at 2 mass shootings and getting killed.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's ridiculous.
And
so the chances are slim to none.
Neither one of us are very bright.
No.
So what we did is we went to an article from Princeton University in 2015.
They're allegedly bright.
They're supposedly a little smarter than we are.
It's like a community college, I've heard.
Yeah. And so Princeton.edu, it's an article called Calculating My Odds. And what they pointed out was that, in 2015 there was 352 deaths from active shooters. And at that time, the United States had a population of 322,367,564. And then if you take 352 deaths and divide that by 322,367,564, you get 0.0000143%.
Here's where it gets weird.
0.00006
zeros.
5 zeros.
5 zeros.
5 zeros. 0.143%. Okay. And then here's where it gets weird. So we said, you know what? This is like getting struck by lightning, right?
Yeah.
This is like getting struck by lightning. And you actually did the math on your calculator because lightning, according to Google, you have a 0.000. Let's see, it's a 1 in 700,000. 1 in 700,000 chance of getting struck by lightning. And if you take 1 divided by 700,000, you get 0.00001.143.
The same.
It's the same exact percentage as 352 divided by 322 million. It's just too eerie to be true.
That's to have that happen once.
Yeah, that's to have it happen once. And so then we figured, okay, to have it happen twice, you take that number and divide by 2. Right? According to Google, striking lightning, getting struck by lightning twice in your lifetime is a 1 in 9 million event. 1 in 9 million. And what did we come up with on the being in the active shooter thing?
0.0000072.
72. And to be struck by lightning is 0.0000011.
Yeah.
So you do have a better chance of getting shot in 2 active shooter situations than you do getting struck by lightning. Getting shot in 1 active shooter situation is essentially the same as getting struck by lightning.
Yeah.
But getting shot at in 2 is essentially better odds than getting struck by lightning twice.
Here's something we didn't.
So y'all see what's kind of fucked up about this? Now what we didn't factor in here was
2 of them.
2 of them
from 2 different mass shootings being in there together.
And we don't know if they knew each other.
No.
But it hasn't been said in any articles that they were there together or anything. They were just there.
If you divided that by 2, it's even further.
Yeah, your calculator doesn't even go that far. These numbers that we're reading are considered astronomical. They are the definition of astronomical. Like we actually, when we were using our calculators, we were coming up with like 7.1 something E minus whatever. It's like, dude, what the fuck does that mean? And then we had to figure it out, with decimal points on shit that's...
Calculator basically said, fuck off.
Yeah. So, that's pretty weird that 2 veterans are at both shootings. 1 dies. His mom says the same type of things that the shooter said was the reason he did the shooting. Man, we're living in some strange times. I'll tell you what. Let's move off of that conspiracy theory for a second and talk about some other interesting shit. There were 6, count them, 6 off-duty police officers in the fucking bar.
I mean, you would think what horrible luck to come in and shoot a place up with 6.
If that happened in Missouri, you're a dead man.
You would have pulled the gun out, maybe popped off a round, and you
got a couple
of
rounds off before somebody Swiss cheesed you.
Yeah.
6 off-duty cops. 3 of them were LAPD, and 2 of them were Oxnard police. I don't know about the 6th one. They are heralded as heroes because they helped victims get out of the building and get to safety. Now, this is where Alex and I had a little bit of a How does 6 cops off duty in a bar? Nobody's got a gun. Nobody can engage this guy.
That's 6 people. That's a fucking fire team.
Right. Now, what's the obvious answer?
And again, it's California. I don't know the laws, and I don't know how it applies to off-duty officers either. It is a bar.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's allowed, but you'd think off-duty officers...
Yeah, I mean, if they were there to get intoxicated, then it would make sense that they weren't carrying their off-duty firearms. I tried to find the LAPD off-duty carry policy on the internet.
Good fucking luck.
There is none. It's not public knowledge. I did see, though, that in California, off-duty officers are allowed to carry their guns in pretty much every place except for Disneyland and Legoland. They have to check those at the security guard shack. But everywhere else in California, pretty much, they can carry their guns off-duty as long as it's within the policy of their department. So, Oxnard Department, LAPD, what are your policies on off-duty carry? Any of the shitheads that are listening to this podcast or watching this live right now or later, if you know anything about LAPD CCW off-duty policy, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to learn. I can tell you that as a cop, I carried a gun everywhere I went all the time. And, if I was going to get intoxicated, I would have taken the gun back out to the car and gone back in and kept doing shots. The gun was always with me in bars. Every cop I know, unless they're going to get shit-faced, and then they'll dump it in the car so that they don't get themselves in trouble or do something stupid. But 6 off-duty officers in the bar, and none of them were able to stop this and turn this podcast into a good guy with a gun store. If this happened in St. Louis, do you think the outcome would have been similar?
I'd like to think no. I'd like to think.
I can't imagine that it would be. Every redneck at this country bar in St. Louis would have had a gun on him, and every cop in the room would have had a gun on him. It could have been worse. More people could have got shot by the people shooting at the bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
But that's why I would never want to live in California, where I'm basically a helpless fucking sheep. Let's see. We have a comment. Active and retired, allowed to carry in bars and stadiums. What's that? North Cal? No Cal?
NC. That's what Kevin Garland said.
So yeah, they can carry. Maybe they were carrying and they decided running was a better idea. I don't know.
It's just hard to believe 6, 1 or 2. Okay, but
yeah,
I mean 6.
6 off-duty cops, a bunch of active military guys, and 1 guy with a Glock and a smoke grenade.
Why the smoke? That makes even less sense. I don't know why that's bothering me, but the smoke grenade is...
Probably just to create more panic and confusion, I would assume.
Yeah, but, okay, hear me out on this. You see smoke, you would think fire. You try to get out of the building. I mean, I'm not a smart man, but typically, you see smoke, smoke means fire, fire means get the fuck out of the building. So wouldn't that be the opposite effect of what a shooter would want? To have everybody dash to try to get out of the building before you even start engaging people.
I like the way you think like an active shooter.
To counter their activities.
No, honestly, that's the way you have to think in order to catch a criminal. Right?
No, it's just
like them. And you're right. You're right. But that kind of shows maybe that this guy he's fucked up. He was
at the same time, though, he's a grunt. Although, yeah, crazy. It doesn't matter what you're trained in. If you're batshit fucking crazy.
Or did he pop the smoke near the front door so that the cops couldn't see him shooting people and couldn't fucking shoot at him?
Or that too.
Because that's pretty much what machine gunners are taught, right? Throw the smoke to create concealment.
Yeah, we don't really throw smoke. The crunchies throw smoke. We set up on big thing. Yeah, but he did it at the start. Yeah. It wasn't the end to try to conceal his escape. It was the beginning.
How long would that smoke have lasted? In a fucking bar.
It's a pretty thick smoke, and if a bar's not ventilated, it probably would have stuck around a minute.
You think he did it to keep them from being able to find the exit?
It's
also
unless you got a bar
it's also
the size
keeping
of the
him
room,
from being able to see the victims.
Yeah, and unless you have a bar the size of this room, it would have spread out. The other thing is, I mean, it's a bar. It sounds like there's country western night. Typically, most bars, especially country western ones or anything you've been in, are usually dark. There's loud music. There's loud noise. Everything's real dim. I mean, it's already difficult to see. So smoke just seems kind of redundant.
Right. Never trust the strobe light.
No, that is some training that I have not been able to find doing, is shooting while under strobe lights.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. This whole thing is just extremely strange. I'm very sorry to the victims' families, to the people that were there. You know, you talk about PTSD. They're gonna be affected by that greatly for a long time.
Especially a poor bastard who's at Vegas and there. Save nothing bizarre's going on with that whole scenario. That's fucking shitty luck.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we know so far about the Thousand Oaks shooting at the Country Bar in South LA, and pretty weird stuff. I'm sure more is going to come out. We didn't want to run into this podcast yet. You might notice that we don't do these Shots Fired podcasts the day after this shit happens, because we don't have enough intel, and the smoke, pun intended, hasn't cleared yet. And we also don't want to be like the liberals and come out, you know, like, ooh, look, we can get some ratings because we had a shooting. That's not what this is all about. It's really about breaking it down and analyzing what is being fed to you by the media, what really happened, why it happened, why things didn't happen, why were there 6 cops there without their guns, you know, or why did they not take action, why did they feel that, you know, that the best course of action was just to help people run. Why did the guys set up in the parking lot and formulate a plan after the shooting stopped?
The sad thing is, those questions are not the ones that will be answered, nor anything anybody gives a shit about. All this is going to get turned into is another push for gun control. And sadly, the real questions of actually trying to figure out why are people not stopping this who should have stopped it, why is this happening, how do we prevent this, it turns into a political agenda.
And this guy basically had a manifesto, put it on social media that, hey, call me insane, but you know, all you're going to do is offer hopes and prayers. You're not going to do anything. Now, to me, this whole thing sounds like politically inspired.
No, it sounds like he himself was a liberal and almost did it to be a martyr to try to finally push gun control.
Could it be that he was a liberal martyr? Let's look into his political past.
Man, honestly, you know I try not to get into the whole left versus right thing. I think all of them are fucking idiots for the most part. But you are seeing a whole new wave of leftists that are unhinged and you know, they make fun of the alt-right and the crazy right. The left is getting a whole new level of just kind of off their rocker. And I mean, is this a new thing we're seeing? They try to talk about the violent white supremacist right. What if we're seeing an extreme martyrdom fucking left?
Well, I mean, I wrote a blog about this back, 5 years ago. When ISIS was big, right? And BLM was calling for the murdering of white people and all kinds of stuff like that, killing cops. I wrote an article, it's on our blog, you can find it by searching murder marketing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a marketing guy, I'm an ex-cop that turned into a marketing guy, that turned into Sig Glockncoltg, somehow that happened. But I learned marketing really well, and I know how to manipulate people, that's what marketing is, bending people to do your will. Buy this, like this, share this. And the simple fact is, in America, 4% of Americans are psychopaths. 4% are psychopaths. This guy was obviously one of them.
Yeah.
5% are sociopaths. Now, it's debatable whether you and I fall into that 5. You know, sociopath meaning that you're capable of violence without remorse, but not necessarily a psychopath. You know, there's good sociopaths and there's bad sociopaths, right? But anyway, nonetheless, you take that 4% psychopath and you add it to the 5% sociopath, you have 9%.
That's a large, when you're talking, 300 and something million people?
Yeah, well, let's do
have it on there.
Let's do the math. Okay, so I'm
extraordinarily
going to pull this up. Today. As I pull up my calculator, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Our sponsors include Anderson Manufacturing, TAC Pro Gear, TPG Black, Zor Gun Locks, Diamond Head Sights, Mantis, and Tac Pack, as well as Whip Machine. All of those companies, which will be linked in our different videos and podcasts and whatnot, all of those companies financially support Shots Fired and Tactical Shit to do what we do so that we don't solely have to rely on you buying shit from us, although that is appreciated at shop.tacticalsht.com. So anyway, I got my calculator here, and we got 322,367,564. What was I trying to figure out again?
The 9%, how many people that is.
Oh, yeah. Times 0.09. All right. So 29 million. We're going to round down in this case because we rounded up, right? We're going to round down. 29 million Americans are fucking nut jobs and capable of extreme violence. How about that? You know what? Let's take it down to straight psychopath, right? 322, 367.
To give you an idea how big that is,
times 0.04.
the population of St. Louis is only 308,000.
Yeah. Well, that's
So-
just, St. Louis City.
Yeah, to give you an idea of how large of a fucking number that is. That's the size of a large fucking city.
If we take the sociopaths out of that math and we just go with the 4% psychopath, there's 13 million psychopaths in America. And those 13 million are the ones that shouldn't fucking own guns. And shouldn't be able to get guns. And they shouldn't even be breathing.
No.
We should be taking care of them somehow, some way. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not a politician. And those 13 million people need to thank their lucky fucking stars that I've never been elected the president of this country, because I'd fucking murder all of them.
Just to be safe.
Yeah. Did I just sound like Hitler? Well, he didn't kill the psychopaths. He killed the wrong people. So, anyway, after that bombshell,
No comment!
don't ever elect me leader, supreme leader. Do not elect me supreme leader, or 13 million
potentate.
psychopaths will be locked up and or otherwise disposed of. And you know what? Guess what? There wouldn't be any more fucking active shooters after that.
I don't know, man. We could get in a whole other podcast on fucking nature versus nurture and fucking inherent evil in people.
Oh, yeah.
Believing if people are inherently good or inherently bad.
Well, you're right. It could be like the ISIS thing. If we got rid of all the crazy people, then the crazy people's relatives would then become crazy through vengeance. Yeah, and then we just create more crazy people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm just kidding, you fuckers. If you're still listening to this podcast, I would not create any crazy people concentration camps and or murder anybody. But that's kind of, 13 million, we need to be doing something. And medicating them is not fucking working.
No, here's the interesting thing. Is medicating stopping or creating more?
That's a good point. And we will leave that for the guys at Princeton to figure out, because you and I aren't bright enough for that.
No, but I'll shut up after this. If you take a look at it, the increase in antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications and all that, you start looking at the years where that shit developed and started being prescribed and came out and was first invented, and then look at the increase on murder rates and mass shootings and all that, I guarantee, without even looking myself, I almost guarantee that number spikes.
And it
along
correlates.
with that. Yeah.
Let me just ask you something for public record, since you just basically called out Big Pharma.
Yeah.
Are you happy with your life? Do you have any thoughts of suicide?
No, and I don't have any of Hillary Clinton's emails either, so
Okay.
I'm not.
Just want to make sure that we publicly put it out there that both Alex and I are very happy, very, very happy people that are in no way planning on killing ourselves.
So if we
anytime
get
soon.
disappeared or anything like that, you know why.
Right. All right, guys, that's the end of the Shots Fired podcast. Shots Fired episode 17. Thanks for joining us on the live feed. You'll be able to see this on YouTube and Full 30 and Tactical Shit TV very soon.
Pornhub.
Right now it's live on Facebook. Yeah, we won't put this on Pornhub because neither one of us are sexy enough for that.
No.
But and it'll also be obviously you're listening to it on any of the podcast platforms, including Libsyn, Apple, Google Play, and all of those things. Thank you for supporting Shots Fired. Please, please, please support our sponsors. Once again, those sponsors are Anderson Manufacturing, Tac Pro Gear, Zor Locks, Dynadeath Sights, Manus, Tac Pack, and Whip Machine. But most importantly, buy shit from Tactical Shit. Shop.TacticalSht.com. We're going to have incredible Black Friday sales starting very soon. We're doing the Veterans Day sale right now.
Yep.
10% off almost everything store-wide. Promo code... It's Faithful Patriot?
Faithful Patriot.
Faithful Patriot.
Goddamn.
Oh, hey, I'm trying to wrap the show up, but did you hear that they changed the name of the operation at the southern border?
I did. I was kind of disappointed
Yeah,
on that.
they changed it. Mattis changed it from Faithful Patriot, Operation Faithful Patriot, which we created this badass logo.
So Operation
We have
Carne
a shirt-
Asada.
No, it's
Damn it.
Operation Border Support.
That doesn't have the same...
Right, no, so
American Eagle.
Tactical Shit is going to continue Operation Faithful Patriot, whether Mattis likes it or not. And we are going to put our logo out there, and we're going to sell T-shirts so that the veterans of Operation Faithful Patriot can remember the days they spent stringing concertina wire.
That was a fucking thankless, miserable job. Fuck that shit.
All right, shitheads, we're out. See ya.